So in this video, I'll be sharing with you 3 secrets that you can use to increase sales conversion and close more deals, whether you are in a one-on-one setting or in a one-to-many setting such as a webinar or a seminar. Hey, it's Gabriel here, founder of Ascend Marketing and Salesable Software. We are a company that helps service professionals and business owners generate thousands of new customers online with less time and effort, so they can ultimately live the dream of either swimming in their money, living a better lifestyle, or using the profits to serve a cause that they believe in. Now, I don't have anything to sell you in this video, and I just want to give you all these tips to help you to do well, so that maybe someday you work with our agency or use our software to automate your entire sales process. So please help like and subscribe for more content if you enjoyed this. So the first secret is to tell more stories. I believe you have heard this quote that facts tells, story sells. One of the biggest mistakes salespeople make is that they give too much facts and figures and data on how big the market is, how much money you can make. All these are great, but storytelling is still one of the most effective ways to make an impression. And we normally remember stories more than any other information. When you give people a bunch of information, most of the time they will forget 90% of them. But if you're able to tell a story and incorporate storytelling into your sales process, then there's a higher chance they will remember 90% of what you said instead of forgetting 90% of them. And the reason why this works is because most of the decisions that we make are based on emotion rather than logic. So here's an example that I use in my workshop and classes. In Singapore, we all study basic chemistry science in secondary school, which is equivalent to high school in some of your country. So normally in my class, I always ask, who remembers the periodic table? Then the next question I always ask is, when is the last time you have seen it? The usual answer will be 10 years, 20 years, and how many years have you last seen the periodic table? Put it into the comment section right now. Then I'll ask, who can fill up the periodic table right now? At least 90% of them, right? And you get no hands, right? 50%? What about 10%? And even to 10%, not many people are willing to raise their hand to fill up the periodic table. Even if I were to give them $100 cash right on the spot. And this is after I show them a completed periodic table just a few seconds ago. And then I show them a blank periodic table and ask them if they can fill up at least 10, even 50% with a cash prize. And not many people are able to be confident to do that. Then I'll switch it around and ask, who here have heard of the Little Red Riding Hood? And then the next question I'll ask is, how long have you since last read this story? Still say the same thing, right? You would probably say 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. So then I'll ask the same question that I asked earlier. How many of you are able to tell the story based on your memory with at least 80 to 90% accuracy? And guess what? This time around, everybody raised their hand. And if you're watching this right now, it's the same thing right now. As I'm asking those questions, without looking at the periodic table right now, are you able to at least fill in the periodic table, at least 50% of them? Chances are it is a no. What is the chances that you're able to tell the Little Red Riding Hood story with at least 80 to 90% accuracy? So that's the power of storytelling. We tend to remember all the facts and figures and data that you tell in the form of a story than just by itself. Number 2 is pitch the benefit, not the product or the features. Prospects are not looking to buy what you're trying to sell. They are looking to buy what they want to buy, which is usually to solve a problem that they have. So here's an example. Do you really want $1 million, or do you want what the $1 million can buy you, right? Could be the lifestyle, could be a charitable cause that you believe in. So which is more impactful? So a lot of people forget that what we want is usually just a vehicle to get what we really want. So focus on what they really want, and those are what we call benefit statements. So here's some examples that I ask my clients and my users. So I ask them questions like, does your prospect really want a financial product, or do they want a peace of mind that the financial product is able to give them? Those in the health fitness industry, does your prospect really want a diet plan or workout plan? I mean, who really want to exercise, right? Or do they want six-pack abs? So your marketing message shouldn't be on diet plans and workout plans, because that's not what people want. What people want is six-pack abs. What people want is be able to lose belly fat without doing much. That's what they want. Here's another one for real estate. Do people really want another real estate, another property, or do they want a convenient location to reduce their traveling time to work and send kids to school? Or do they want to be able to create a bigger nest egg for themselves so they are able to retire earlier by selling their property at a later stage because of the capital appreciation? So what do people really want? Focus on the end outcome instead of the vehicle to get to the outcome. Even in our agency, we do funnels and ads. But if you look at our marketing messages in our ads, in our funnels, we don't mention so much on creating funnels or creating ads, because do our customers really want funnel or ads? Or what they really want is thousands of new customers so they can become more profitable with less effort, which is more impactful. So obviously our marketing messages focus on the more customers with less effort. Number 3, don't just handle objections, predict those objections in your sales process. A sales process is normally never smooth. There will be concerns and questions from prospects, and it's important to proactively address those concerns and ask clarifying questions if needed. But it is also more important to learn from it and start predicting the common objections that your prospects is likely going to ask. So that even before your prospects able to come up with the objection, you are able to answer them like you're reading their mind. Someone once taught me that when you answer a question, when someone asks those questions, it can sometimes come across as you're trying to justify. But if you're able to predict what they're going to ask and ask it first, it's much more impactful that way, because people feel that you understand them because you're able to even read their mind and able to read their concern even before they ask them. So once again, this works even if you're doing a one-to-many sales like a webinar or a one-to-one sales setting. Identify the common objection and then address them even before your prospects are able to ask. Sometimes you can even turn your weakness into a strength by reframing that weakness or possible objection as a strength. So here's an example of a weakness, right? So like if someone is new in the market, let's say you started an agency and you are first year in the market, that is a form of weakness, right? Because you don't have the experience that someone already has if they are 10 years in. So how do we reframe this as a strength, right? So what happens is that most of the time people will try to ignore it. Hopefully their customer don't ask, hopefully their prospects don't ask. And then when they ask, they try to justify, right? And that's too late. So here's an example, right? So instead of waiting for your customer to ask, how long have you been doing this? You want to mention this in your sales pitch, for example, right? So somewhere in your sales pitch, you want to say that we are first year in this game or first year doing this agency, and that's the reason why you should choose us, because unlike most agency out there that has been around for 10 years, 20 years, they don't give you all their attention because they have 100 clients. But when you choose us, we only have a limited handful of clients, and therefore we're able to spend 100% as much attention as possible on your business that other people in the business longer than me are able to do. What you want to do is reframe it as a strength that, hey, other agencies, yes, they are good, they have been around for 5-10 years, but the problem is that they might not pay you as much attention as I will pay you, because I need to make sure that you work. For companies that has been around for 10 years, they don't care whether your campaign do well or not, right? They have been around for the past 10 years. But for me, your results is me building my reputation, right? Because if I get result from you, I will be able to build a stronger portfolio, and with a stronger portfolio, then I can grow my business, right? So every deal is important to me at this moment compared to someone who's been in the game for 10 years. So I just turn a weakness, which is I'm only 1 year in the game, into a strength. And I want to do that before someone asks that question first. So I want to give you some examples of common objection when I do a webinar in one-to-many settings. So when I do a webinar, for example, people always say like, okay, funnels and ads are great. It looks like it works for property. It looks like it works for financial planning. It looks like it works for whatever industry I show, right? But there will always be people asking, but does it work for my specific industry, right? A fill in the blank industry. So I will always address this common objection even before I go into my sales pitch. So for example, if I show an example of a funnel and how this funnel works for someone in property, I will then say, I know what some of you are thinking. Some of you are thinking that, will this work for my fill in the blank industry? And then I'll show more examples. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, the ads and the funnel is universal and it will work for every industry that you can think of in the B2C and the B2B industry. So then I will show examples again. I would basically address those objections before I start doing my sales pitch. Now, even in a one-on-one setting, it's the same thing. Because for our agency, we are a bit more pricey, we are a bit more premium, right? Because of the stuff that we do, because of the experience we have. So our price starts from $5,000 a month. Usually for most agency out there is $1,000 to $2,000 a month. So we are basically a premium price agency. Usually I know that once I start to go into the numbers, which is $5,000 a month, I might get some resistance from some of the prospects, okay? And sometimes I can tell. Instead of waiting, for them to say, this sounds expensive, can you give me a discount and all that kind of stuff? And then I try to justify why I cannot give them a discount, which is weaker than if I predict this question and answer and reframe it first. So here's an example. Before they even get a chance to say, this is expensive, or even before they get a chance to object, I would say, our agency is $5,000 a month. Now, I know this may sound expensive to some. However, if you really think about it, to create a marketing campaign that will generate thousands of customers on demand, how much is that worth? And usually in order to create a campaign like that, you need to at least hire a team. Now, if you hire a fresh graduate or fresh graduate marketer, it will already cost you between $3,000 per month to $4,000 per month just to hire a fresh grad that does not even have the experience that we have. And you probably need more than one team members, a team of marketers, designers, editors, and then, a marketing executive. They are not as experienced as us, but it would already cost you more than $5,000, okay? And sometimes I'll break down the math for them and I'll say, okay, okay, if this marketer cost them $4,000 and they hire a designer, they hire an editor, whatsoever, turn up to be about $10,000 a month. And if you want to hire an experienced marketer with at least 4 to 5 years of experience, this is the real numbers out there, it will at least cost you $5,000 to $8,000 to hire them full time. And you still have to manage, you still have to spend time to manage these people, deal with sick leave, hiring, people leaving the company, staff motivation, and so on. But when you hire us for $5,000 per month, you get a team of 20 people working on your project, and you don't even have to worry about having headaches about managing the team, dealing with team motivation, hiring the wrong people, people leaving. You can leave that all to us. So what am I doing here, right? I'm trying to make them see that $5,000 per month is actually very affordable because of all the, not just the goal they can achieve, thousands of customers, but also the pain they can avoid with me, right? Because if they want to hire a team of marketers themselves, right, it already costs more than $5,000 a month, and they still have to spend all the time to manage these people, deal with the hiring process and whatsoever, right? So what I was saying is that when you hire us instead, you get more support than just hiring a team of 3 people. Plus, you don't have to worry and headache about all the stuff and all the pain that you are likely going to get when you hire and manage a team yourself. So by doing that, I was able to reframe a coming objection into something that is a strength for me. And this is the reason why our closing rate is above 50% when it comes to such a high ticket offer. So that's all I have for you in this video. 3 simple key points. Let me know if you have gained something from this video, and let me know what are your biggest takeaway in the comment section below. Please help to like and subscribe for more content to support this channel. That's all I have for you today. Bye for now.